Okay, this is our second module in our placement class. So in this part, that we're going to understand about various aspects of a variable in C and C++ and its basic concepts. We start with the basic concepts and then we'll see a few solution problem based on the variable concept and how to solve them. Okay, so if we just look at the name, the word variable. A variable means what? A variable means which is not fixed, means whose value can be changed. So just take an example here that today, suppose your age is 22 or 21. Next year, your age going to be changed, going to be age going to be incremented by 1. So similarly, like our bank balance in savings account, if we spend something, uh, your account balance going to be updated. If you again if you credit something, some amount in your account, again it is also updated. So this can be a few example of a variable. Again, like temperature, daily temperature, temperatures are not fixed. So these are the few examples of variable. Okay, and now we need to understand why such this topic is very important. What is the need of this variable? Remember, uh, C and C++ is a typed language. Typed language means before you want to use any value, you must specify that value against a name. Before you want to use any variable, before you want to use any constant variable, you must declare that variable, and that variable must have a type. So in C and C++, we normally follow this simple declaration here. Simple declaration tells us that to how to declare a variable. First of all, it start with a type name, and then it followed by a variable name. Okay, so what is this type? The type tells us that a valid data type. So in C and C++, we have a various type of data types. We start with the basic data type. Then we have a derived data types. Derived data types use the basic data type to design. And then we have user-defined data types such as structure, class, union, enum, type def. These are the example of user-defined data type. So let us first discuss about what are the various data type that a C and C++ language can have. Okay, so now look at the data type here. There are various type of data types is possible. A data type can be of have decimal value in between 0 and 100. Then it can be a string of character. Suppose you are representing uh, the area where you are working or you are staying, and then a contact information. It can be 10 digit, a long number. So basically, C++ have these 5 basic data types that I have listed here. Basic data types. Character. The size of the character data type is 1 byte, and it can have a value from minus 127 to positive 127, because 1 byte means 8 bit. So 8 bit equal to 256. So value started from 0, so it will be 0 to 255. But when it comes across to the sign, a variable value can be negative, can be positive. Then this total range is divided into 2 partitions. Half of the partition supports for the negative values from minus 1 to half of the range. Okay, and then from 0 to positive side. This is the way I have also listed here. Then in addition to this, we have integer data type, and for that abbreviation or data type int we normally used. Integer normally, the size of integer normally depend on the system. System is 16 bit or 32 bit. In 16-bit system, the size of integer is 2 bit, and in 32-bit system, size of integer is 4 bit. Okay, so presently our all systems are 64-bit actually. The present architecture is following 64-bit architecture. So in this case, we're going to consider compiler will consider integer size of integer data type as 4 byte. Okay, so the value that I have listed here, range of values that I have listed here. Okay, it is the minimum value that I have listed. Minimum value based on 2 byte. So you need to calculate it if it is 4 byte. Very easy to calculate. 4 byte is equal to 32 bit. So the value is going to be support in a positive range from 0 to 2 to the power 32 minus 1. Okay, why always minus 1? Because number always started from 0. This is the reason it is minus 1 for all data type. And if you support positive and negative value, then this range will be divided into half of the range will be in negative side and half of the range will be in uh, positive side. So you should remember that character is the data type which takes least amount of memory, 1 byte of memory. Then integer it takes 2 to 4 depend on the system. You can consider 4 based on the present architecture of the system. And then we have a special data type, we called it floating point, which can represent real values. Okay, so there is also two different variants are there, floating point and double floating point. Floating point is represented with the abbreviation float and double floating point is represented using the abbreviation double. And their size is also different. Memory requirement is also different. Float data type takes 4 byte of memory and then double data type takes 8 byte of memory. And most importantly here, you should understand up to what decimal place double and float is going to be support. So float support up to 6 decimal place and double support up to 8 decimal. And in addition to this 4 data type, there is another basic data type is there. We also called it generic type and we called it a valueless void. Okay, so you must be familiar with this. Suppose a function did not return anything, so we declare that function as a void, means valueless. If function doesn't have any argument, so we can specify void keyword in the list of argument, means valueless again. Okay, so we'll see during this placement session various other use of void. Especially we're going to see in pointer. Okay, void. So you should remember that void means generic, and there's no memory requirement is there. Not even 1 bit, no memory requirement is there. It's just a type is created to support a generic type. Okay, so now let us go with a few demonstration. Let's see how do we declare a variable then. Okay, so now let us declare a variable with a type and name. So we are going to take a C++ file. So for that purpose, I'm going to use IOStream for standard input output and the standard library. Std. Okay. So as I have discussed the syntax, if I go back to the syntax here, if you remember the syntax, okay, if I go back to the syntax, how to declare a variable. Okay, so this is the syntax that we should follow. A type means data type. I just discussed what are the various basic data type C and C++ support, and a name of the variable. Okay, name of the variable, and this statement must be end with semicolon. Must be end with semicolon. So go back to our demonstration part now. Okay, so suppose we want to declare a integer variable. Okay, we want to store a decimal value like pin code is a decimal value. Then we can have some numbers. Okay, some numbers for addition of two numbers. So normally go with a name and type name. So type name we have decided int for integer variable, and the name is given num. So this is what this is called declaration of a variable. Okay, declaration of a variable. I did not give assign any value to this num variable. I simply declare it. So what this num actually? So let me write here in detail about this. The name num is represents, okay, represents what? Represents a memory block of RAM with size. If I consider it is 64 or 32-bit system, it will be 4 byte. Okay. So each and every memory block will have certain address, and for address it is difficult for us to remember those address because addresses are hexadecimal numbers, some integer numbers also. So it is not easy for us to remember those addresses. So to make programming easy, C and C++ first come with this concept that we should give a name to each memory block by which a programmer or a human can easily remember a particular memory block by its name, not by its address. So that means once we declare this variable, that variable also gets certain addresses. Then how to print that address? To do that, we can use cout address of num. Save this, and, and if we now compile it, okay, and let me share the output window then. Yeah, check here, we get a value, hexadecimal value here as an address of num. How we consider it? It is a hexadecimal value because this address is prefixed with 0 and x. Okay, that thing I've explained in our first lecture. What is the meaning of this 0 and x? Okay, so now go back to this demonstration again. Okay, so that means whenever we declare a variable, that variable must get a memory address. Okay, must get a memory address. Similarly, we can check the how much size is allocated uh, to this variable. For this purpose, we can use size of operator, size of num. So it will give you the size in byte, how much byte allocated against this name. Now, suppose we want to print the value. If you look carefully, we did not initialize the variable num here. Okay, we did not initialize it. So let us print the value before initializing this variable. So to print, we can use cout num. Now, most important point that you should remember, and you should remember it always, that when you declare a variable, the memory block it's occupied against this name, it has some values. So we can say compiler will put some garbage values to the memory block num. Okay, some garbage value. So if you print, it will print some garbage value here. Okay, so save this and let us execute. And let me share the output window then. Okay, now check here. It prints the value 0. So do not get confused here. It is initial value. It is a garbage value here. In my system, it prints 0. In your system, it can be different or it can be same. So concept tells us that it should be a garbage value. That 0 will be a garbage value. Okay. Now go back, and now let us assign some value. So suppose after declaration we want to assign some value. So let us assign some value here. Num equal to 90. So now it is what? It is initialization. Initialization of variable num. Okay, it is initialized by 90 here. Various way we can initialize a variable. Suppose we are declaring another variable here, integer k. We can initialize it by the value of another variable like this, num. So here k is declared in this line. We can say, we can conclude this statement here that K is declared and initialized into same statement, into same statement. So most importantly, you should remember that when we use an assignment operator, we called it initialization to a variable. If we did not use assignment operator like the first one, it is simply called declaration of a variable. Okay, so let's go back to our few other theoretical concepts that we need to clear. A variable that we saw here, variable has a name. Okay, variable has a name. Now, most importantly, in C and C++, there are few rules are predefined for a compiler how to decide a variable name. What are the rules that we need to follow before give a name to a memory block? So these rules are very, very important. We should remember those rules. Let's see what are the rules are there. Okay, so see, these are the rules that I have listed here. Rules for constructing variable name. First and most important point you should remember, when you say name, a name is what? Name is a string, is a sequences of characters. It is a string. So now, if it is a sequences of character, now we should also remember that what are the maximum number of character is allowed by ANSI, because first standardization is given by ANSI to C programming language. So what are the maximum number of alphabets or character supported by a name in C and C++ compiler? So it supports from 1 to 31 numbers of alphabets. These alphabets can be mix of uh, this 31 numbers of combination of alphabets, uppercase or lowercase. Then it has a number digit from 0 to 9, and then it also supports a special character underscore. Okay, so for example, you can consider this ABC underscore, then A underscore BD, then num1. These are all are valid variable names. Okay, I just follow these rules. It have a combination of alphabets. So N, U, M are the alphabets. Number is 1 and underscore is there for other names that I have used for example purpose. Now let's move further for another rule. A variable name must be started with an alphabet. So that means C and C++, it makes compulsory that its name should be started with alphabet from either capital A to Z, any character from capital A to Z, or lowercase a to Z, any character from that range. But name should be start with that. If you want to start with some other thing, another option is also available to you. C and C++ allow to start a variable name with a underscore. Only another variance is there. One variance is there. Only underscore you can use as a first character to a variable name. So here I have listed few example valid variable name. First one I have started with underscore followed by alphabet, and second one I have started with alphabet followed by a digit. So that means it is tells that a variable name cannot start with a digit or a number like this. So this one is illegal, and it cannot start with any other special case. Suppose hash, dollar symbol, or any other special character. It doesn't accept it as a starting character of the variable name. Okay, few more rules that we should understand. Uh, in variable name, commas and space are not allowed. Okay, we cannot put comma in between a variable name, or neither we can give a white space or blank space between a variable name. So just look at this example. This is an invalid variable name because I have used comma here, and it is also invalid variable name because I have used a space between a variable name. Okay. Fourth rule, and these are the rules that we normally follow in programming. A variable name can have a mix of upper and lowercase character. Upper and lowercase character. Okay, see, so we called it camel case in programming language. First name as a variable name. Here first F start with small case, then remain as small, and when name is started, then N makes it caps. So normally we follow this thing in programming. We called it camel case. Okay, or you can start with uppercase. This all are the example of valid variable name. Another most important point, just few minutes back I have mentioned C and C++ are typed language. Typed language means the variable must be declared before you use it in any part of the expression or any part of the statement. Another important point regarding C and C++, these two languages also case sensitive, very case sensitive. Case sensitive means a name start with uppercase and then same name start with lowercase represents two different name of a two different variables. Okay, so see this example here. Here both the case I have used variable name as a name, and but first variable name started with capital N and second variable name started with small n. So what is the important point here? C and C++ are the case sensitive language. So these two variable name will represent two different memory blocks, two different memory blocks. Okay, so these are the few rules regarding variable name. Now let's go back to the variable in demonstration. Okay, so I will explain the remaining part of the variable in another second part of this video.